I saw today there was some news that a date has been announced for the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix.
How much? Where is this going? Like, how deep into the story do we know?
Well, here's what I know from someone I know over at the tower. Um, it all the advertising says it's going to be a profile of Vince McMahon and his rise to power, all that. Now they began production on this. It airs, by the way, September 25th. I think it's a 6-part series. They started production a couple of years ago, and they got carte blanche from the company. They were allowed full access to the family, to come shoot office footage, road footage, talking to anyone in the company. They were kind of given. It was a vanity project. It was just going to be all about him, you know. So what happens while they're in production, toward the end of production, but all this McMahon stuff happens. So they've already been given kind of the keys to the kingdom to document everything going on. So, well, this was interviews with him prior to the resignation I'm being shown here. But from somebody on the inside, I was told the company got uh, very dismayed that they had given that access because they were there for. Now I don't know how much stays in the final cut. They don't have control of the final cut. WWE. I mean, it was given to Netflix to be a Netflix project. So I don't know that they could stifle anything or keep anything out. Maybe through some legal wranglings they could do that. But
Maybe with the fact that he's involved in the ongoing hearing, and it could be
that they can, yeah, it's
biased.
possible.
It would bias. That's.
It is possible now that there's like actual legal.
I would
Uh,
absolutely go. I mean, if I was a defense attorney, that's. I would say you can't fucking put something in a documentary that you're documenting its truth, and then all of a sudden put stipulation or speculation or anything else in it.
but you could run a camera and film what's going on in the company. You could
Yeah, but
ask about morale, or maybe
yeah,
not just ask, maybe just sit there, cinema verite, run the camera, fly on the wall. What the hell is happening day to day right now? I'm
that's a
curious if they
That's a
include it.
Soderbergh. Soderbergh would just set a camera up and run it for 20 minutes. A
Be
bunch of
very
guys are
interesting
sitting
to see
around.
what happens.
Yeah, like we'd be sitting in the club in between numbers, like changing our shit. Like if it was you know an actual job, not a movie, and he would just like set it up like, okay, with this set, no, we just got done with this. We're going into this next. Raining Men, you guys are getting your gear, and then just run the camera.
And let you go unscripted and just
Unscripted, just
grab
fucking what,
anything.
and whatever
Okay.
happens, happens.
That's great. It's a very Cassavetes type thing. That's great.
Yeah. He, you get when he um, trusts the process. It takes him a minute to trust the process, but
Mm. You got to be, as an actor. I mean, it may not sound like a big deal to everybody. Oh, you just just keep doing what you're doing, be yourself. But when you lose the when the safety harness isn't on you anymore, and it's like go, that's an interesting feeling.
yeah.
Some people love the improv. I mean, it's
I mean, that's anything that I've excelled in on any kind of a show or anything else. I've just basically been on my page.
hmm yeah, all the looping work I did when we'd have to get up and add additional voices to a scene, and they say, "All right, Kevin and Sean, get up and talk about something not too loud. You're gonna be those two guys in the background having a conversation at the bar. You got the guy in the green shirt, you got the guy in the brown shirt. Go ahead." And I always said it was the world's greatest improv class because you get 3 beeps, the mic is live, and then you and your partner come up with a minute and a half of dialogue, matching kind of the physicality and tone of two people on the screen in the background. It's going to be buried; you can barely be able to hear it. But I mean, it was the world's best improv class because it counted.
But you know, there when you go on Instagram and you see somebody that's got like Cornell singing a song, and all it is the vocal tracks. They've stripped everything else out of it. I mean, they can, those sound people can strip. If somebody was to get on your IMDb and then look at your credits and try to figure out where, I mean, they can find it.
Yeah. So will you watch the Mr. McMahon documentary? I'm sure you will, right? 6-parter.
I mean, it's on Netflix. I've watched much. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely watch it.
I'm sure it's going to be very well done. Chris Smith, Tiger King.
I mean, I'll like it. I'll like it because
Director.
it's. I mean, it's going to be. Well, I'm sure it'll be like you said. It'll be well done. So.
Mm-hmm. And irrespective of what happened in the last couple of years, the business story of Vince, I always found absolutely fascinating. People would always ask me that, if you got to do a shoot interview with Vince McMahon, what would you talk about? I would want to know what it was like taking that company, shattering the territorial structure, and going in and growing it almost overnight to a national phenomenon. Cyndi Lauper, taking the elements of pop culture, bringing it in, going to cable, and making that explosion. I mean, within 2 years, we had WrestleMania from when he bought it from his father.
I know, and you look at now, like the people that are involved are like they're everybody's A-list that's involved with that. It's just
it's not Liberace and Billy Martin anymore.
No,
the stars.
No.
Who were you? You were Pamela Anderson brought you down to the ring that time.
Yeah.
Right?
It was supposed to be Dabney Coleman. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, that's better putting your arm around Dabney than it was Pamela, right?
We just couldn't get the rights to 9 to 5, so just didn't feel right.
What about Max Dugan Returns? So I will check that out. September 25th, that is, folks, on Netflix. Not so coincidentally, just a couple of months before
Were we going to have a new segment called "Name a Bad Dabney Coleman Movie"?
That was tonight's.
Okay, so we did that. Okay.
Well, it's a different star. Next week, Charles Durning.
Okay.
Right, so start doing your homework.
Can I give a teaser?
Go ahead.
The calls are coming from inside the house. That's all I can do. So
when a stranger calls.
What?
Circa 1981. Do I get anything for that? Folks, Blue Chew.
So my first reference you've got all night.
What was the one? Dawkins.
What was the one? Bill Willoughby. The one was you didn't know it. The Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant from the vinyl. You didn't know that.
Did not, because I thought you were talking about the movie Alice.
Right.
Well, Alice's Restaurant or Alice's Diner. I think it was just called Alice, actually. Little Linda. Yeah. Which had a theme song, and I thought you were referencing a theme song.
No, I was.
I'll be going right on Apple Music when we're off and listening to Arlo.
Steve, how long is Alice's Restaurant? The long version. It's over 20 minutes, right?
There's no way. Is it really? It's like Inagata Davida.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where the DJs used to use it for the long version of Inagata Davida is like
when a chick came up to the studio and they needed a little break. There we go. 18 minutes and 16 seconds. God help us all.
What year did that originally come out? 67.
Look at that. Was that the album cover? That looks like a giallo horror film from Dario Argento. It looks like a goddamn seance. They're going to sacrifice a pig.
You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant.